Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today in this tutorial we are exploring a brand new feature in Spring Boot 3.5 that is supporting for ViburDBCP. It's a powerful low latency JDBC connection pool. I hope you already aware of it different types of connection pool mechanism in Spring Boot. One of the famous that is ViburDBCP that we are basically used, right? There is some others also like UCP implementations for the Oracle, then Tomcat JDBC pool. Okay, so with that, this is introduced in this Spring Boot 3.5. Basically, in the next sessions, next slide actually, I'm going to show you that what I'm going to cover for this tutorial. First of all, like why this ViburDBCP is a great choice for connection pooling. Next, also we'll talk about that how if we want to integrate this ViburDBCP into our applications with this Spring Boot 3.5, then how we are going to integrate this one. Then connecting to a MySQL database. With that also we are going to building a simple REST API using Spring Data JPA so that we can understand that how this ViburDBCP is working with this Spring Boot 3.5 applications. By the end of this tutorial, you will have a fully working Spring Boot applications using ViburDBCP. Let's going forward. Let's understand that what is ViburDBCP. So here basically comparison table between ViburDBCP, ViburDBCP and the Tomcat JDBC pool. But before going to the comparison, just try to understand what is ViburDBCP. It's a basically high performance JDBC connection pool designed for low latency and concurrency. Unlike ViburDBCP, which focuses on speed, ViburDBCP also provides statement caching for optimized query executions, SQL query logging for debugging solo queries, fairness in connection handling to prevent connection starvations. It's also seamlessly integrated with Hibernate and Spring Boot. In Spring Boot 3.5, ViburDBCP is officially supported. It's allowing easy configurations with Spring data source. Okay, so now if we see the comparison table over here, so I pointed few of the features like performance wise, then connection validations, statement caching. That is the statement caching basically is if you see over here that ViburDBCP is supported, but ViburDBCP is relies on the JDBC driver, right? It's a connection fairness, then leak detections. Like leak detections, sometimes we observe that some kind of connection pool it's throwing that leak detection exception. Okay, so here we can logs those connection open too long. Here like if you see this logging and the debugging, so here for the ViburDBCP we are like this query execution time logging we can like easily we can put in the log, right? But in the ViburDBCP there is a minimal logging, and Tomcat JDBC pool logs the solo queries. So these are these tables actually is there is basically pointing all the details over here. So that means this ViburDBCP is a great for low latency applications with query logging, fairness and statement caching. ViburDBCP is the fastest connection pool ideal for high performance applications, and the Tomcat JDBC pool is a great general purpose option but slower than the ViburDBCP, right? So next what I am going to do, whatever I am explaining over here, we are going to demonstrate just to create one application, Spring Boot application, and then over there we are going to create one of the REST APIs and also adding this ViburDBCP and the MySQL to connect with the MySQL database, and trying to demonstrate that how this we are going to integrate ViburDBCP into the Spring Boot application. So without further delay, let's create the application and see the demo. So as you can see over here, I have created one Spring Boot project on start.spring.io. Let's create our Spring Boot 3.5 project. Then from this site you can create, and then over there what dependencies we need to add, like Spring Web for creating the REST APIs, Spring Data JPA for accessing the database, MySQL driver. So here if you notice that I have used this Spring Boot Starter Data JPA, Spring Boot Starter Web, as we are going to demonstrating this ViburDBCP, so that's why this DBCP we have added into our class path, and also MySQL connector. So these are the main dependencies to demonstrating this ViburDBCP with Spring Boot 3.5. If you notice that as a version of the Spring Boot I am using this 3.5.0 snapshot, because this is not any this is the currently version of this one, so that we have using over here. Now going forward, what we're going to do, so that two dependencies we need to add over here. Next we need to configure ViburDBCP in the YML file. So how we are going to configuring this one, we need to add few of the dependencies. So for that we have like Spring, then we need to provide this data source, then URL. Okay, so here basically we need to change this URL with this, like this is the URL actually. Okay, then root, then this is the username, then password, then driver class name. Okay, pool initialization. So these are the few things we need to add to configure this data source. Okay, after that we need to create one configuration file to generate the like this bin. Okay, so here if you see that we need to set the JDBC URL, username, password, initial pool size, max size. So here basically we can take these values from the properties file also, but we are just for the time being for demonstrating we are keeping as a hard coded over here. Instead of that, like if you notice that we are putting all the variables values over here, but we are just keeping those things at a hard coded for demonstrating. Next we need to create this JPA entity. It's actually having this three field like ID, email and the name. This is the unique values, or we can say it is a primary key. We have created that repository, and then we have created this controller. This controller just having kind of CRUD kind of activities like get mapping, then post mapping, create and the get. Okay, because we don't need to write all the things over here, just to demonstrate this is actually fine. Next we need to start our application with that, and then we will see that how it is printing the log, right? This is the console. Let me zoom it more. Okay, if you see that connection got created here, right? So this are pool, actually this 5 pool we are defining. So this 5 actually initially it's got created, right? If you see that it started ViburDBCP, this is the pool data source. Okay, so this is the like it's got created over here. In the log we can see this is the pool initialize size 5, maximum is 20. Okay, see all the details printed in the logs. Okay, and also like this for the timing, these are the details it's printed in the log. Okay, this is the pool. Okay, now we need to call those API. Let me try to call this API. Now here if you see that we are just calling the get user, and here it will like it's basically we are pulling the data from the pulling the connection from the this one DBCP connection pool, right? And this is the SQL that is basically executed. So in this way basically we can easily integrate this ViburDBCP into our Spring Boot applications. If you see, if you notice, there is no complexities, right? We can easily integrate this one, easily integrate ViburDBCP in the Spring Boot 3.5. This is a new feature of Spring Boot 3.5. So I hope it's clear now that how things is working. Just to logging in detail, you need to add these properties into your properties file, this property like logging level or ViburDBCP in the debug level. Okay, so in this way basically we can put so that we can see the log in the console, okay, while we are doing any kind of activities. If you guys need more detail, then please do let me know in the comment section. I will definitely try to cover those points. So here you have learned how we are going to configure ViburDBCP in your Spring Boot 3.5 with MySQL. If you found this tutorial helpful, like, subscribe and comment below. See you in the next video. Thanks for your time. Bye bye.